there it
Hi,
is.
everybody. It's Barb Dunn, Keeping Locals Local podcast. And I have a special guest today, Mariah Carter, and she's going to tell us all about herself. Mariah.
I'm doing well, Barb. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm
Yeah.
excited. So a little bit about me, Mariah Carter. The number one thing I like people to remember is just my name. Just because it's like, if anything someone's going to remember about you, it's either how you treated them or your name. So I'm
Right.
going to go with name because I can't really treat anybody the way I treat them because I'm on a podcast. But I like that my married name is Carter now, so now people can't really screw up Mariah Carey, Mariah Carter. So I'm just gonna start with that. Um,
Nice.
I am from Worcester, Massachusetts, and about 3 years ago, I had what I call a financial awakening. I'm turning 50 in like 3 weeks, and so I kind of feel like I went through my midlife crisis 5 years ago. I got a job in the tech industry and I was making more money than I ever imagined I could. And I was doing
Nice.
less work. And I realized I'm a workhorse. And I don't have children. I wasn't blessed this lifetime with kids. So I was like, okay, well, what is my purpose every day? Like, I'm going to get up every day and go to this job that I enjoy, but I'm not like in love with it. And I'm going to be older soon. Like, what am I doing? What am I giving back to society? And I came
Right.
across this women's investment network, and it was really cheap. 5 nights, jump in there, and I learned about like wholesaling and fix and flipping and all that stuff. And there was some like Christianity built into it too. And I'm a Catholic, but I'm not super Christian.
Mhm.
My internet's a little slow. So anyway, I just then kind of went 110% into it because then I felt purpose. I was like, I'm seeing the aging community struggle to just you lived the American dream if you could. You had your
Yeah.
house, you raised your kids, you got your grandkids, your home is where everybody comes. But then after a while, everybody else is like aging and now they've got grandkids and now you're getting up there and now your house isn't the hub anymore. It's like a stop by. And it's like, okay, well then what's the next phase? Like
Yeah.
it's scary.
You're
So I
describing me.
oh
Exactly.
really? That's exactly what
Yeah.
happened,
Yeah.
right? So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, what's the next phase here? Like, do I live in this house that's 2 floors and
Mhm.
all these bedrooms, but I can only clean like one bedroom, one bathroom? My father basically lived in our living room for a while. Like he just
Mhm.
couldn't do the stairs anymore. And I
Yeah.
think he had a washcloth in the bathroom and would just like quickly wash down because he didn't want to
Yeah.
go upstairs. So,
Right.
and he was in his 70s. Like that's not even that old. Anyway, so I was like, okay, this is going to be my mission. And then I realized very quickly, I'm not one to knock on doors. I find it unsafe.
Me
Um,
too.
I'm not one to sling a hammer. I'm not skilled. Like I'll
I can
probably
do
hurt
that.
myself. You can do that. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
skilled at that. I am not. I don't have an eye for design, but I had money. So I'm like, okay, what can I do there? And then I
Mhm.
started learning about how I could be a private money lender. Didn't know that was really a thing. Didn't think I could be that person. Then I learned about an accredited investor. I fell in that bucket. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. How can I
Nice.
make my money work for me and I don't have to work hard for it? And then I learned about infinite banking concept. I learned about banknote investing. I've learned about land investing, like just a little bit to be dangerous.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you suffer from shiny object syndrome. Do you?
I did. I went all in, man. Oh gosh. I signed
Everything.
up for. Oh yeah. Yep. I
Yeah.
did.
And easily
But
thousands of
I've
dollars.
also learned a lot. I mean, I'm learning. So I can't believe my head should be huge. I'm learning so much.
I was never even good in school. Like I was a C kid, I think fifth grade rolled around and boys were like my thing. So then I was not interested in school. So my grades plummeted. I had to go to an all-girl Catholic school in Worcester, Massachusetts. I went to Notre Dame Academy. Then after that, I went to Regis College in Weston, Massachusetts. I stayed very local, stayed loyal to my family. And I
Mhm.
was just like, I'll just do the things. I didn't even want to go to college, but I didn't have a choice. My family was like, college, you need to go. So I
Right.
went into debt to college. I came out. What did I end up doing? I didn't have a job yet. And it's like, what do I do? So I got into corporate America and did everything you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
And I job jumped a lot. And I actually went to my brother because this is back to the shiny object syndrome thing.
Mhm.
I said to my brother who went to Georgetown and my other brother went to Boston College. Both of those guys went to school, had masters in what they ended up doing in real life, and they had internships 2 years before they graduated school. Not
Yeah.
me. I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't know what I'm doing. My brother said to me one day, and I said, I'm the black sheep of the family because I just don't
Oh,
know what I'm good at. Like, I thought I was like a failure. And he looked at me and said, I wish I had the guts to do what you did because if I could have redone it, I would have been a kindergarten teacher. You have guts
oh,
and you try new things. And I was like, okay, this isn't that
wow.
bad. Like,
Yeah.
I've experienced no income. I've experienced excelling at income. Like,
Yeah. Well,
I'm
I think every person should, at one point in their life, should seriously wonder where their next meal's coming from. To
yes.
be that desperate. I've been there. I mean,
Mhm.
I came from nothing and we figured it out, and it was really challenging.
It's
But
challenging.
you never forget that.
You
I
don't.
missed all of high school. I was a ski racer, so I was gone for weeks at a time. I think I went to school all through high school, maybe each year, maybe 2 weeks out of the whole winter.
Oh,
That's
wow.
from November until April.
Oh,
So I
wow.
missed. And then I went to, well, my last 2 years of high school, I went to a ski academy. So,
Oh, that's
I
cool.
mean, right.
So
Then,
you were
so
a
I went
ski
to
buff.
college, but I went to ski. I got a scholarship and the whole thing,
So your focus
Division
was
One.
skiing. It wasn't really the
Yeah.
education or the major, right?
No, right. It
So
was
when you graduated, what was your
NCAA's and
major?
environmental science. But
Okay.
what do I do with that? So then I went back, I went to Jackson Hole after college and skied, of course, and
Yep.
coached. And then got tired of that shuffle, met my husband. So we moved back to Vermont. And then we started the construction business together because I had construction experience. He had none. And
Mhm.
so we got a job working on the Lake Champlain in the winter. You had to drill a
Mhm.
hole to put the nail in. I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
out. So I went to
Yep.
grad school and got my master's in education, elementary education, and
Oh,
was a
nice.
teacher for 12 years. Yeah.
Oh, that's
And then we
awesome.
got into real estate. And then I was the breadwinner with a teaching degree, and my husband was self-employed, and we
Mhm.
ran into a tired landlord. He sold us 16 properties at once, and we didn't we there's I don't know, it was in the 90s, and the bank let us
Oh,
do it. Unbelievable. We did not
that's
want
awesome.
huge risk, huge risk. So that's what we said, if we have to go back to our night out, a date night was to split
Mhm.
a sandwich
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
ride our bikes to split a sandwich. If we have to go do that again, let's try it. And that's what we did. And then we just built and bought and sold and bought and sold and
So you're
acquired
lucky
a
you
lot of
met
properties.
your husband and that like, did you meet your husband in college?
No, after college in Jackson Hole, ski
So he was
buffing.
also a skier,
Yeah.
but you guys kind of got to the point where he understood you're a high risk, high reward kind of person.
I don't know what he understood. We're not together anymore.
Oh,
Obviously, he didn't understand me much.
I didn't get it.
Yeah. No, we were together 24 years now.
That's a
Three
long time
kids.
though. Okay, so
It
there
was.
was the communication. You weren't
There were,
really aligned. Okay. Um,
but let's go back to you. So I
that's
understand
funny.
about the school thing. School was never
Yeah, the
my,
school thing.
yeah.
I went there to run track. I ran cross country and track, and that's what I did.
Oh,
My
nice.
boyfriend was 5 miles away. I was in a dry town. There was no drinking, super Catholic, like,
Yeah.
all the things. But I had to grow up after that. But anyway, um, fast forward to now, it's like, okay, now I didn't have the white picket fence and the family and all that. Like, what am I gonna do? And then learn about the real estate investing. The funny thing is, I do have a little story. So I think I've told you this briefly offline, but my mother was adopted by an Irish couple in
Okay.
Boston. And so it's a very wacky story. So my mom's parents, when they adopted her, were 60. So think about that, 1947, and they were 60. Do the math. They were born in the 1880s.
Yeah.
So they were born like potato famine. Like they know what it's like.
Mm.
Well, I'm named after my Irish adoptive grandmother, and she spelled it Maria, but said Mariah. And she's from
Mhm.
Oughterard, County Galway. She had tickets for the Titanic, no lie, had tickets for the Titanic, and she traded them in the last minute to come later to hang out with a cousin. I mean, I don't know who does that, but she did.
Yeah.
And she was 1921, I think it is. And so she came over. She was probably in her 20s,
Mm.
30s. She was in her late 20s coming over, and she became a housemaid in Boston. And she met a landscaper named John McLaughlin, and then they decided to get married at 38. She had
Wow.
one of her first child. Like they got married late in their 30s and then had the two kids. They had two daughters. And then fast forward 20 more years, because my aunt was born 1924, 1927.
Mhm.
My mom was born 47, 20 years later. So they've taken this newborn baby that's 6 weeks old and they raised her. And but what's crazy is that the Irish maid and the Irish landscaper became landlords in Brookline, Massachusetts, where JFK is born.
Yeah.
So I know the apartment building that they own. I think it's pretty badass, to be honest, to be immigrants coming here and then becoming landlords. I think that's kind of like that was almost like back in the day, that was your 401k.
Yeah.
You owned land. And being from Ireland, you didn't own land because the English did.
Yeah.
That was so important to have, right? So it's kind of weird that I'm now in real estate. So fast forward to today, I'm now what I call a passive investor. I've learned a lot of things. I think the communities that we're in, I absolutely love. You're in the same circles, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of pick apart the males versus the females. And I hate to make it like we're so different, but we kind of are. So I joined the organizations here in the state I live in now, North Carolina. I walk into the room and there's a bunch of dudes and they've been doing this for years, decades. Probably didn't even go to college. They sling a hammer, they manage buildings, probably have multi-million dollars, but they
Mhm.
don't even have the decency to like look up and introduce themselves to you. We women walk in the room and it's like, oh my God, hi, are you new? Like they're super friendly. Am I crazy?
No,
Have you
I
noticed
don't
that?
think you're crazy at all. I think there's an element sometimes guys are intimidated too,
Well, maybe because
so
I'm
they
I'm
just
a bit
clam up.
outgoing. Yeah, I can be a
Yeah.
bit much. I've been told I'm intimidating, but anyway, I'm not saying anything. But anyway, I just find that women are just far more warm and welcoming,
I
and we
agree.
want to share and we want to collaborate and we want to look for opportunities to work together. Yes,
Yeah.
there is a sense of backstabbing at some point because money is money and money can make people a little evil, but as long as you
Hopefully.
are good intentioned and you can sniff out the other good intentioned people, then you can find a good collaboration. And I guess I can kind of correlate real estate investing passively or actively. It's kind of the same to me as my all girl high school track team. There was field hockey and there was basketball. Those were the teams you had a limit of how many members you can have in the team. For
Right.
our cross country and track team, there's no limit. We'd show up in a bus, 40 girls, to go
Mhm.
compete against the other schools that were co-ed, and they had maybe 20. And they looked at us and they were like, "Oh crap, they've got volume." And it was like we just came in and none of us were great. Some of us were good, some of us are great, some of us were really bad, but we just had fun and it was great. And I feel
Yeah.
like we were very welcome in that group. It didn't matter your skill level as long as you showed up and you did the work. And I kind of feel like that in real estate with women,
I know. Well, I definitely gravitate. I'm working with more women in this community than I am with men. I have to
right?
say. Yeah. Well, we should say we're both in an accountability group that we're enjoying. And it's
Yes,
really, I
that's
can't
true.
imagine now not having that. It's really good.
And it's
Yeah.
funny. Okay, let's talk about that. So when we were in that room, can we name drop in this podcast or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were at Owners Club, Pace
Mhm.
Morby, and he gave us a task. And in that room, he said, I want you to find your accountability group. Now, of
Mhm.
course, I pretty much love everybody, so I can't just be in one. So I kind of built out one, and then this other one started to formulate. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll be in two. And then the
Mhm.
one that was co-ed started off pretty strong, and then it kind of like fell off. I don't know if it's the time of day or what, but people just didn't show up. And then our group with the fledgling, like, I don't know, four or five of us, I think it was like four, we're now at like seven. And we show
Yeah.
up every single time.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that. It's a
And we're
great
looking
group.
for and then we use the time, and I guess I know it's for accountability, but it's almost
Mhm.
more so for commiserating, like, yeah, I'm experiencing this challenge.
Right.
This is how I'm now trying to navigate out of it, and then someone comes up with another idea of how you could look at it too, and it's been super helpful.
Oh, I think it's fantastic, especially, how fast the pace is with pace. You know, it's funny he's named that, isn't
I know,
it?
right?
Were you there? I don't even know what event it was, but how we talked about names. How uh, I'm not coming up with another name right now, but Tony Counts. I mean, he's the accountant. So
Oh, yeah.
how everybody's name is it's really kind of funny.
Kind of,
But
yeah, like we just fit them, their
yeah,
character.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Pace is not slow pace.
No,
He's
no.
like the pace runner at the front of a marathon doing 5:15 splits or less. Like
Well, that's what I mean. It's nice to just check in and like, okay, did you hear about this, or have you done this, or are you
that's
moving
huge
that
for
way?
me.
Yeah, me
I
too.
have to know because if you've got what well, in some cases one ear, but in some people have two listening. Inside story. But now we've got several different people's ears listening in and like reading the
Yes.
things and helping
Yeah.
keep us accountable on what's going on in the community. It's almost that's what it is. It's the accountability of what's going on in the community.
Yes. Now, do you have a lot of owners near you? I don't have
No, a
any.
lot. I'm near Raleigh, and
Yeah.
there's a very small group of us.
Right.
The bigger group is in Charlotte, and that's like
I
2 hours for me.
I have Doc Tammy, who's 2.5 hours away, and she's going to join me on this podcast, so we're
Oh,
going to do
good.
that together. Yeah, I'm excited. And then Rex. Well, Rex isn't in owners anymore, but um, and then Ramsey is in Boise, and that's a different 2.5 hours the opposite direction. So that's
See,
it.
but that's the weird thing is I feel like there's more people, they're just not putting themselves out there that
Right.
we don't know
Right.
are here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there is a Raleigh
Actually,
event coming up December 13th. I've gotten in touch with a person that I think is running it,
yeah.
but I reached out to them twice now and they're not even responding. I'm like, I'm gonna be rude. They don't even have a venue yet. It's
Oh,
in
wow.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
I could help out with that because I'm really good at that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I would think that they would want to team up with you because you're in owners. I mean, that's a big
Right.
draw.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm worried, are they scrambling and they're just trying to get their ducks in a row, and they're like, "Oh, another person wants to help out, now you do?" Because I wasn't paying attention. I
Yeah.
was like,
It's
"Oops."
okay. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's easy to do that, feel that way. But I think if anybody at any time puts herself out there, you should welcome it. So don't feel that
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
And I also
It,
have, a group meet chat with some ladies in North Carolina, but they're all at least an hour away. So I don't know why. I'm 40 minutes from Raleigh. That's pretty
yeah.
easy drive, and yet I don't have a lot of people I can reach out to. So I, I will say this, I think it's important to be a part of your community, even if you don't have a lot of your existing community around. So I
Right.
joined both the North Carolina RIA, the Triangle RIA. The Triangle is right on Raleigh. North Carolina's statewide, right? I've joined my Rotary Club, my Chamber of
Yeah.
Commerce, and I'm now in a Women in Networking Club. And I feel like I need to plant my feet really solidly in here so that I'm now known as a resource for
Right.
creative funding when you want to
What you
be a
do.
private money lender.
Well, that's a really good point. And, when I moved here, I saw a need. I started a ski program for kids. 40% of the underserved community, they were not skiing. So I
Mm,
did this whole program and, worked really hard for 6 years, all free, volunteer based,
nice.
60 volunteers, 250 kids. I mean, it was a big deal and it was great. But I raised money and all that stuff. And I was in all these groups and going to those groups to get funding. And then I got into real estate and I just dropped somebody else. I gave the program away to a much
Right.
younger person. Um, and why am I not back in those groups on the other side? As,
Right.
yeah. So
Because you're
you were
known.
really, well, you're really inspiring I'm like, why am I not doing that? I
Yeah.
really should be doing that.
Yeah.
So
And I
I
feel like
will.
because you've given so much, they already know you're a giver. Your integrity is already there.
Yeah, that's a really good point. They dedicated there's a whole big history of what I did at the mountain that
See,
was
that's
so
awesome. So
I
you've got
know. So
name recognition and integrity
yeah,
in the community. Absolutely you need that's you're
that's
not
a
your
really
first second homework assignment with me.
yeah, yep. No, that's a good point. I have to do that.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to mention is you said challenges in life. I will say 2025 has not been a great year for investing. You and I probably would agree with that. I actually want to interview a certain person who had a show on HGTV and he scoffs at this year. And I'm like, wait, you don't understand. We've got new investors in here. hearing all the glory days of 2023, 2024. 2025 is not great. And he's like, so I'm thinking about interviewing him to be like, okay, tell me when it's really bad. Like, tell me when we should be crying and calling lawyers and chasing people. I'm a big fan of just let's try and figure this out as
Yeah.
best we can. But if you're going to get nasty and ghost me, legal will have to come into play. Other than that,
Yeah.
I want to work with you because I don't think everybody's trying to be nefarious.
No, I believe that too.
Yeah.
Here I am talking, the 3 deals that I did get into with lending are all bad.
When you say bad, they're not communicating and it's legal out.
The numbers were all there. It's just bad people. Bad people doing bad things.
So here's a question I have for you. What more could you have done to do your due diligence? That fun term that we all hear. And I was at first going, what do you mean by due diligence?
Yeah. Well, I did not. And I was new. I was brand new to Gator, shiny object. I joined Gator in December, and this deal, one of the first deals, was in January.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got my first deal. I'm so excited. 100,000. Yes, got it. Do it. Gone. Done.
Yep.
And it's supposed to come back within 6 months. It still hasn't come back, and it's not going to come back. I'm going to get 9,000 back out of the 100,000. But anyway, yeah, it's hard. I say it, and my throat closes up.
But what do you think you could have done more? Because when you do due diligence based on previous years, it is the numbers. You look at previous history, FICO score, integrity.
Well, I didn't suss out the borrow.
Like in what way?
It was through a community member who had a lot more experience than I had.
Okay.
Who was teaching underwriting to the community. So I trusted that, and I still trust him. I know he knows what he's doing.
Yes.
I don't think he vetted the borrowers really well.
That's what I'm going to say.
That should have been on me. Yeah, I should have looked into that.
I
trusted he did it.
Yeah. So like, that's the one thing I would suggest in a due diligence. When someone says to you, I bet you this person never said to you, hey, as God is my witness, they're a phenomenal person. They probably didn't say that to you. We just had an assumption going, I know that you're a wonderful person. There's no way you'd be friends with somebody who'd be nefarious. And so you make this assumption, right? So I think to this story, and I fall in this trap too, is yes, this person's great, but they're not perfect. Go to that person that you're going to be borrowing or lending to and just interview them. Interview them. Find out, like, what are some challenges? How do you overcome them? And if there's one thing that just doesn't rub you the right way, like I was on a call once, I didn't like, there was a gentleman on the call who needed the money and the woman that he hired to help him recruit people like me. And she tried to speak on the call and he basically shushed her. And he was like, no, I'm not a total feminist. I come off such a feminist, but I'm really not. Anyway, he was just like, hey, I've got it. And I was like, I don't care. This is the best deal that I've ever heard. I don't like how you treat people.
Yeah.
Male or female.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, to answer your question.
Maybe that's what it is. Interview the person who's going to borrow from you.
Yeah.
That is, you know what? That's such a good thing. And I
didn't do that either. I know. Well, there were 21 in there with us, 20 other people who had a lot more experience than I was a newbie. So I was like, oh, they know what they're doing. And
And that's the other thing I'm going to say. And I know we're going over time, but in corporate America, I was talking to CIOs, CTOs, technology officers, directors of IT. I only knew enough to be dangerous with my product. I was not an engineer. No, I just like tell you all the benefits of this product. It's up to you if you want to buy it. I'll bring the smart person, the engineer in, and they talk to you. There were so many times that director of IT didn't know as much as I did. And I still, like, it probably took me like 5 years to figure that out. So I'm like, how does this person not understand about encryption? Like, I don't understand, like, because that was what we talk about. But I would also throw that in the same wheelhouse with attorneys you work with, doctors you talk to, and anybody in real estate that's going to be dealing with your money.
Right.
Hugely important. And also, I would add the interview with the person who's going to borrow your money, but also interviewing anybody else that has lent to them that you could just give me a list of your lenders.
Reference. That's a good idea. Yeah, I got a deal going right now. It's a mobile home flip, like we talked yesterday, I guess. And you're right. They said, and I trust these two women. They've done 9 so far. they said everyone's always gotten paid on time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good track record. But
Yep.
you're right. I should take it the next step. Give me 3 names that I can call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I
And
should do
even interview the borrower and just be like, listen, tell me who's your ideal lender. I may not be your ideal lender because guess what I'm going to want? I want communications on the monthly. And then
Yeah,
when we get closer, I want every 2 weeks and I want pictures and I want videos. And if we go later, I want monthly payout. It's going to be all in my agreement with you. Are you okay with it?
yeah,
It's like
yeah. I
we
did.
almost have to act like the bank.
Yeah, I did that. I actually, if they're late, that's what we did.
That's
And
good.
if they sell the 2 properties they have on market right now before our time's up,
Mhm.
we get paid.
See,
So,
that's good.
so
You've got to put
hopefully,
those parameters. So you need to understand almost more than what they're willing to tell you so that
yeah,
you know what leverage you
right,
have.
right,
Because right now, the common theme is everybody's over leveraged.
right. Well, Doc Tammy, we're trying to come up with new names instead of keeping locals local, what it is now. So we're going to do to lend or not to lend. That is the question. So I'm going to be the lender and she's going to be the connector and kind of play off each other. Like, what are you looking for in a lender? What are you looking for in your borrower? Go back and forth that circle and kind of suss it out that way, which would be kind of fun. Like
I
looking at
think that
both
would be,
sides at the same time, as opposed
yeah,
to just one sided, like you and I are lenders.
right.
That's a different conversation from, you know, what criteria does Doc Tammy need to bring to me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
How
And
is she
vice
going to
versa.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the
So
other thing I will add is like as a lender, was if you're going to borrow someone's money, understand where that source of cash is coming from, right?
yeah,
Because
right.
if somebody has like a timeline that they have a bill coming up and they really shouldn't lend to you, I know you need that $200,000, but guess what? They have this loan. It's almost like the scene from Miracle on 34th Street when the little girl
Oh, I
goes
love that
to
movie.
it's such a great moment. I'm gonna bring because the season, right? And the little girl wants a particular toy, and the Santa Claus, a good Santa Claus, a real one, says, "Oh, we don't have that at Kimball's." I think he says, "Go to the other mall." And the Kimball's gets really upset. Why would
Mm,
you send a customer to another? Because now he got his integrity tied to that store, and that family's always going to come back to that store now because they
right,
know that they're not out just for their money. Same
right,
thing when it comes to being a borrower. Is the strife, is the cash really worth the strife you could have if you don't deliver on your promise in the timeline that that lender was expecting? Because it
right.
could get real ugly.
I know. I'm living 3 uglies.
I've got a
Yeah,
few kind of uglies right now myself,
yeah.
and I will say this: I'm a high risk, high reward. I used a business line of credit of $180,000 to lend out, and I have to pay 14% on that every month. So
Ooh,
I made sure that when I lent out, it's over 14%, but I get a
absolutely.
bulk payout. I don't get
Yeah,
monthly.
right.
So my passive investments are covering the 3,000. But if I had thought about this more through, I would have had a better game plan, and I probably wouldn't have taken that full loan out of 180. I would have gotten less, but
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
yeah.
So now I
Well,
counsel others not to do what I did.
especially when, same thing happened to me. All these deals are coming at you. You're like, gosh, if I just had some more capital, I
Yep.
could just
You get
make all this
FOMO.
work. Yeah, yeah, yep,
And
yeah.
when you learn the power of your dollar in real estate and investing, you don't want that train to stop. But
No,
I
no.
would love it ideally for me if my passive investments paid for my life and then I could really invest in such a way that I'm literally growing my retirement because I don't want to be in a nursing home with somebody wiping my ass that I don't know and I don't like. And that's what's going to happen if things don't work out, right?
Ugh, I see. I can't even. I put up a wall right there because
Everybody does.
I can't even think about it.
I know, but we have to think about it because
I know.
I was is either you or somebody said to me, once you turn 50, the years fly by. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Now, well, I'm 64, so I'm definitely thinking about this stuff, and especially women live longer than men, and so
Yep.
it's going to be all on me. And it's like, ooh, what's that look
Well,
like?
you have kids, right?
I have 3, but I don't want to ask them to take care of me. That's the
You won't have
last
to
thing
ask
I.
them. They're gonna talk to each other and say, we gotta take care of mom.
I don't know. I'm not planning on. I'm not. I don't know.
Well, that's why I
I
want
wouldn't want to do
homes.
that to them.
I agree with you. So I want to create an assisted living, like for our generation. I'm going to throw myself in with you, that we are independent. We are independent and living like the Golden Girls, like the
Yeah,
Golden Girls methodology, right?
I
I still
know.
want to have my cheesecake at midnight. I
Yeah,
want to, have an affair if I want to in my room by
right.
myself and just watch.
Well, there's tons of homes here vacant. They're millions, right? But there's 6, 7, 8 bedrooms just sitting vacant because no one can afford them.
What?
And I know, so that would be great if I could, but I just don't know how to fund it. I would love to set up a co-living because if you're elderly in this community, you either have to go to Twin Falls, which is an hour and a half away,
Mm-hmm.
and be in a facility. There's nothing around here, or you have to go 2.5 hours away to Boise to a facility. But
Mm-hmm.
you don't know anybody. You're not part of the
Yeah.
community. What about those people who are still vibrant and still not incapacitated that
Right.
just don't want to be alone? Why can't they stay here and in these homes?
Yep.
Because I mean, rent is crazy. I've got a rental here, right? It's
Yep.
700 square feet. I get 2,500 a month for it. So if you could charge these seniors around there 27 for a bedroom,
Yep.
and you've got 6 bedrooms, could that cover a $3 million mortgage? Maybe.
That's where you seek government funding of some way to like cover it. I mean,
Yeah.
or grants. That's government funding essentially,
Right.
but yeah.
Yeah.
And so if I could go back to the 3 years ago, my financial awakening where I wanted to help my fellow elder age, it is a selfish
Mhm.
reason too. It's for myself as well. I kind of like circled right back to it. Like I want to
Yeah.
learn about these new neighborhoods that are being built up that are residential assisted living, private pay. You've got private
Yeah.
in-home care,
Yeah.
and it needs to be like the
A
next
cook,
level of community.
right. A cook and a nurse,
Yep,
24/7.
and a
There you go.
bartender. You gotta have your sundowner. I'm sorry. It could be a mocktail, but I mean, just
I
saying.
know. But I think that would be great to be able to service that in this industry. But the numbers aren't here. Same with
Yeah,
affordability. That's why I started it here. It's just the numbers are so screwed up. So now I'm moving further and further away. I'm trying to get mobile home park in between here or an RV park in between here and Twin, which is probably about 45 minutes away. Because all the community that service the wealthy in this valley and now are moving out because they can't afford to live here. There's nothing here. So they drive. The least amount they drive would be 45 minutes, up to 2.5 hours away daily, one way,
so there
just to
was,
work here.
yeah, that no tiny home community for the elders, little
Mhm.
clinic pharmacy, like those
Yep.
can be built, and I think it's
Yeah.
doable. I'm talking to now some people who have medical background are interested in such a thing, so it'd be super cool if I could figure out like one lady here has land, family land, and she is thinking, well, it's family land and I can build other homes on it, and I would like to have like something right near a hospital. I'm like,
Yeah.
visiting nurses, people going through cancer, you've got aging people going through PT, like that,
Right.
whatever you build there could be profitable for you, but also give back to the community.
That's what I'd like to do. I've always done that. I've always given back to the community, but I just can't figure it out in this demographic's tough.
Yeah. Unless you just create it.
Yeah. Well, I have to go to those. I have to sign up for the communities and
Yes.
be a
Yeah.
part of it
And
again.
also, if you've got a Rotary Club, I would suggest joining them. What I love
Mhm.
about Rotary Club, it's international. They
Mhm.
also offer grants and scholarships to kids in the community.
Yes.
They give back like all of their money, they give back to the community. And
Yep.
there's power in numbers there. And I would say it's filled with a lot of people who want to be philanthropists, I'll say.
Right. There's a group here. It's 100 men who care, and I don't know what their fee is to get in. I think it's maybe 10,000, but they do good things.
Hmm.
They find housing for people. They do amazing things. You could start that in your groups there. It's
Yeah,
this much to get in, and you go find a cause and fund it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just a matter of I will also say another thing for this podcast, if it can be captured, is you never know who you meet in the day that is actually a real estate investor. Don't judge a book by its cover. I've walked into
Right.
the Verizon store and the guy working there is a real estate investor.
Right.
You go to the post office, oh, they're a passive investor.
Yeah.
Talk
Oh, I'm
to
scared. One of my best friends, my ski buddies, she's a realtor here. She does very well. And
Mhm.
for some reason, I'm very intimidated and I'm scared to ask her for off-market listings. And then when we talk about creative,
Yeah.
I talked about it when I first started and she's like, whatever. And then slowly now she's asking me more and more questions like, what do you do? And how do you do?
That's
But it's
good.
amazing. She doesn't know anything about creative. And that could solve so much in this valley for so many people and move these big, huge mansions that aren't going anywhere and they just sit vacant, which
Yeah. I mean, you know what?
in a
I always
housing
start,
crisis.
Barb, come up with your story,
Yeah.
your dream story in one of those mansions. Wouldn't it be super cool if that house on that street had this systems built out for the aging community?
Right.
I can picture like a little car service. They get drives to the doctor, the pharmacy, and they're happy. They're playing pickleball in their wheelchairs, maybe. I don't know. And like you share that with her. She may be like, oh my gosh, could we make that
That's a good
happen? You'd be
idea.
like, damn straight we could.
Yeah.
And then you
Good
partner.
idea.
Start
Yeah.
with a story. People are more open to a story than they are a pitch.
Well, my story for the ski programs, I come from a small town that they still to this day, kindergarten through 12th grade, offers free skiing for any kid.
That's awesome.
And why isn't that happening everywhere else? In ski towns.
Yeah.
So
I
that,
don't
that's that's how I did that. That easy.
maybe
So
maybe
we could talk all day here.
I know, sorry. We're like well over
So
the
no,
20
I mean
mark.
I know. So how can people get a hold of you and what's the
Well,
best?
I am on the things. I'm branching out. I am now, if you look up your Redheaded Investor, you'll probably find me on Facebook,
Mhm.
Instagram. So it's Mariah Carter, your Redheaded Investor. Um, and I prefer like an Instagram shout out or Facebook Messenger for right now. As I'm
Mhm.
growing things, I'm launching also a coaching program on how do you prepare to get business funding? Because that's the one thing they don't tell you in college is like, what kind of salary you should go for to pay for your life. They just go out and get a job and you just take the first thing they offer you and then you can't
Yeah.
pay your bills. So I want to coach people about like how do you prepare to use business funding to use for to be a private money lender, to help with a borrower that you're working with. And then I put together a plan for you that's specific for you and what your needs are. And then
Nice.
my whole goal is in 90 days, you see yourself doing well. So if you're interested in doing that, I'd love to help you out. And you can reach out to me on I would say my Facebook. It's Mariah Carter, the Redheaded Investor.
Perfect. Great. Well, thanks for being on. And I'd
Thanks,
like to
Barb.
invite folks back in a couple months just to see where they're at and how things
Oh
have
my
progressed.
gosh,
And
that'd be cool because then
so,
I'll have my coaching program launched. That'd be cool.
yeah. That'd be good. We'll have to plan on that.
All
All
right.
right.
Thanks, Barb.
Bye.
Bye.